Women's Elite are now going to take on the 6-mile run with increasing weight in their rucks as they advance. A repeat from 2021. We had 5 women who were able to, you're good. We had 5 women who will be doing it again, so we will keep an eye on what their times look like as they go. They are off. We'll turn the camera. And I will say, well, we do have some men from other divisions in there. The women look like they're already off to a faster start. But the men kind of eased into it. So the women that have done this one before, we have Meg Kennedy. She's actually in the tactical division this year at Nationals, but she held the best time at 67 minutes. You can start the vehicle as I speak to. We got to get on our ride because I can't run fast enough to keep up with these fast ladies. So Meg Kennedy in women's tactical, 67 minutes in 2021. Cal Key, now Kalarina Woodard, excuse me. She finished in 71 minutes, so just over an hour, keeping in mind that this year the time cap is 90 minutes for all of our divisions. Lupe Hernandez, she finished 6th that year at 82 minutes. At 87 minutes, Crystal Herber, and then Christy Watson, who's competing in the women's 40-plus division this year, 98 minutes. The time to beat, though, it's going to be from Nick Dininger, who finished in an incredible 49 minutes and 58 seconds. So there is a female in this field, Katie Knight. She is somebody that we're going to be keeping an eye on. She's got a great endurance background. Hold on, we're switching the camera around. Anybody need a ride? Any takers? The amount of hitchhikers that we have on the field, you know, they're looking to sit in the hot seat here. But Katie Knight, so this is her first time competing in the elite women's field. I'll turn the camera. Jenna Blackwell, Lupe Hernandez, on the first 2-mile loop. So this is a little bit different than how it was formatted for the women back in 2021. I believe that back then, the route was the same, but the weight was actually heavier. The women ended with the same weight as what the men had, which I believe was 60 pounds. This year, the women start with 20 pounds, then they will increase to 40 pounds, and then they will stay at the same weight at 40 pounds. So just a little bit different. Blair Drum feeling good, giving us the peace sign. Still smiling. Pacing it out. That's what this one is all about. Making sure that you find that pace. They have yet to make it up the hill. I'll flip the camera. So as we mentioned with the men's elite, maybe from your camera, maybe from your vantage point, the hill doesn't look that bad, but even just walking up it, you can tell that it is quite a steep incline all the way at the top. There are athletes that are already walking, and that's kind of the same sentiment. When I spoke with the men's elite field, they said that nearly all of them were walking up this hill. We did make note that Jacob Hepman did have a little bit of a trot. Oh yeah. We love the first round. Everybody feels good in the first round. E-Church. Coming up right here. Look good, feel good, baby. Let's go. A beautiful fall day right outside of Austin, Texas. Yep, using some support on the hips. And who Who's in the black shorts? Because that is a great running technique, really leaning forward and keeping a great pace. Janae DeCossin. Looking good and strong, and as I predicted, as we were talking about before, Katie Knight, she's gonna be in the braid, the green shirt. We're gonna get around to the other side. Moving and shooting, shooting and moving. So Katie Knight, this is her first year competing in the elite women's division. Crushing it. Big runner, she's a track star.
Singing that song in my head.
Looking great. 49.58 is what Nick Dinninger got. You think you can beat it?
Deal.
Deal, she says.
I already had to beat Hefner at 51.
Okay, she's got to beat Hefner at 51. Goals, everybody has a goal. I think she's going to fare well in this one. I got a couple other men, but just keep in mind that not all of these athletes, the women's elite all took off at the same time, but some of the other divisions, you know, might already be into their second lap, third lap. So we have a little bit more of a spread out athlete field here. Okay, so they will take on 2 miles with the 20-pound sandbag inside their ruck. We will check in with them a little bit later to see what their paces look like and where they're at, and if Katie can hold on to her lead throughout the rest of this stage. Hello, we're just gonna hang out with you now, Katie. She's got 2 miles in, already into her second 2-mile loop, so now they have added additional weight. They went from 20-pound sandbags now. She's got 40 pounds inside her ruck, and similar to when we looked at the men's field, the first mile or so, people were clumped together, and now we got another athlete in the back, but nobody in her division. He's in one of the men's divisions. Do you know where anybody else is, Katie?
They're not too far.
Not too far, but from our standpoint, they look pretty far. Can you tell that there's more weight in your bag right now?
Oh yeah. She's heavy.
Getting heavy, but nonetheless, she is far out ahead of anybody else. So we'll hang out here for a bit and we'll see who might be drafting a bit of a hike behind her. Somebody on track. Who's got the music? You got the music, Nate.
Jamming,
That's right.
Okay, we can go. Nate's got the right idea. He's got soundtracks. I mean, some athletes have their ear pro that are connected to Bluetooth, and so I'm sure, maybe not, but I would imagine some of them are listening to music. But up shortly behind, not shortly, far behind, a couple minutes I would imagine, behind Katie, we have Janae DeCossin. Let me turn the camera. Here making good time. Getting through. We also know that Janae is a very enduring athlete. She's great at a lot of those body weight movements. So any gymnastics, rope climbs, burpees, she's always somewhere baked into the pack on the run with the elite men and women. So when we have mass starts, she's always in the mix. And now it's nice because they can get onto some paved road off of the gravel and a little bit of off-roading. Something that I do think is important to mention is we talk about this being a 6-mile ruck run. So on paper, 6 miles isn't too bad. You add some weight and you think, okay, that's going to be a little more difficult, but add that to potentially 11 other stages if you make it to the finals throughout the weekend. So 6 miles on top of all of this work that the athletes are going to be doing throughout nationals, that is really where things set to come in. And how will they recover? How will they get ready before the next event after this? Are they going to put ice packs on them? Are they going to go take a nap? Are they hydrating, eating properly? All of those things play into what the end results really are. It's who is, of course, fit enough, who has practiced their shooting enough throughout the year, but also who can keep up with recovering their body throughout the weekend. So all of those little things that you might not think about, making sure you get enough sleep at the end of the night, using a Theragun or hot and cold compress, things like that, which these athletes at this stage, the elite, they know pretty much exactly what they need to do to a T, and that is what those regionals events are for a lot of the athletes throughout the season. They're data points. Of course, they're competitive. They care about getting on the podium or where they stack up in the leaderboard, but it's also experimental and figuring out, okay, what is going to work so by the time I get to nationals, I'm not going to have that little mistake of not eating that big bowl of cereal before bed to carb up and get your sugar levels where they need to be to replenish your muscles and things like that. So we're now going to head towards the start line as the athletes head into their last lap of 2 miles. We'll see where they're at.
It's hot out there.
It is hot out there.
Katie, what's your number?
325.
Here you go, Katie. Need a drink? You good?
Just over 55 minutes. Katie is starting her last and final lap. They don't need to add weight. They stay at that 40 pounds. She's looking good, well ahead of our next best athlete. So one more lap to go. We will hang around from the start and finish line for just a bit so we can see some of the other athletes as they come around, see if anybody's been able to extend their lead or pass. So we have had a change in our second and third place. Jordan Sessions, who actually is coming up right now, but Janae DeCawson was able to catch up and pass her.
Let's go, Janae.
Her fiance Jake just getting her hydrated, trying to give her some water. He said he's been in the back cooler trying to make sure that they stay cold. It's hot out here. And Jordan, so now with both of them staying at the same weight, it's going to be a race to see if Janae can hold off Jordan or if Jordan can get that final push to get past Janae in the final 2-mile loop. They're on their final loop, but we got to give a shout out to Jose from Volcon. He has been my lift today, and I definitely wouldn't been able to capture those moments without him. So thanks for being amazing.
It was fun today. Thank you for letting me be here.
Great memories together. Here we go. Last little bit with Katie.
Take this thing off.
How those legs feeling?
It's all right. They're sturdy.
I mean, you're still talking at the end of a 6-mile ruck run.
Yeah.
It's impressive to say the least.
Oh, it's up 60.
We're almost there. One more turn. And she will be our first elite female
That's right.
to cross that finish line.
Number.
325.
She's not even tired.
Get this off of me.
We love a good performance at the end.
Katie got 56:08.
What's my time?
56:08.
Yeah, something. Oh yeah.
56:08.
Fastest time so far for women's elite.
Fastest so far for women's elite.
Fastest for the day. Yep.
So the women that we're going to be looking for now to cross is going to be Jordan and Janae. Jordan was originally out front ahead of Janae, but then before they started their last 2-mile loop, Janae was able to gain some distance and get ahead of Jordan. So we'll see if we can find them coming around the loop. Here we go. Janae will be your second female coming around the final bend. So she was able to gain a bit of space and distance between her and Jordan. She makes this final push. And she's in. Second best time for the elite women. Katie, I had a funny feeling that you might win this one. You're very fit. I see you train hard. What is your background? Is it running specifically, CrossFit? What does that look like?
I actually jumped into CrossFit first in 2016, and then I wanted to run an ultra marathon just for the heck of it. So I jumped into a 50-mile, and then
5-0.
Yeah, 5-0. That was my first distance over a half marathon. I was like, we're just gonna full send it. That's kind of how I do things. And then I ran rim to rim to rim, and then from there I just kind of did the 24-hour races, won World's Toughest Mudder, things like that. So yeah.
I'm almost speechless because I think of 50 miles, but all of the other things that you've been doing. When you add something like this on top of, 10, 11 other workouts, is this something that you're so comfortable with that you don't really need to worry about your paces? Or do you take that into consideration knowing that the weekend is still long ahead of you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because this is one of the events that I know I could probably win or place top 3, I'm gonna not pace, and I just kind of went out real hot. I know Janae's fast, we have Jordan's fast, and so I just wanted to make sure I got out ahead of everybody, and then just kept that pace for the rest of the time. So.
You went sub 60.
I did. That was the goal. I didn't beat the boys.
I know. I was like, there were some of their times that you were sniffing at.
I know. I was trying to beat Hefner again. I beat him in Iowa.
Again?
Yeah. I beat him in Iowa, and I told him at his car, I was like, I'm going to beat you again. But, he didn't. He beat me by 4 minutes. So that's all right. I think they could have carried heavier weight. We'll leave it there.
I like it. Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
Great work today.
Thank you.
And that will do it for the women's elite taking on our repeat. And speaking of repeat, Katie Knight finishing in 56 seconds, sub 60. If we go back to her notes from 2021, we mentioned at the top of this, it was Megan Kennedy who held the best time for the women's elite. And Katie was able to blow that time out of the water. That was 67 minutes. So 11 minutes is how much Katie was able to beat that time by. Incredible performance from these athletes today. Just one of several stages that they will be taking on over the course of the next 2.5 days now. We are going to catch up with some of the other divisions, so make sure you stay tuned with us along on YouTube, Instagram. Continue to like and subscribe to our channel. Send it to a friend. We'll see you for the next one.